Yeah,
really serious and you're looking for a Christ man, the one who's knowing it with the Lord, with the Spirit of the Lord to do his will, I'm that nigga.
One West, 25th Street. Look, y'all put y'all faith in presidents like they gon' change this country. Run the league and let y'all play cause y'all gon' make them money. Fuck Obama, he ain't come here on cargo slave ship. What the fuck he do for blacks in his administration? I'm waiting, patient like a saint. Black, Hispanic, Native, they hate your ass. Same, paint Christ in they image, paint you as a slave. God ain't all love, scriptures say he hate. African soul niggas, they know we not the same. School to prison pipeline to get you off the streets. Put you in the cell toilet connected to the saint. Molested as a kid, she prostituted as a teen. The byproduct of Martin Luther King dream. They just took the yoke off, my nigga, we ain't free. We live in bleak in these wastelands of poverty. If you don't know the truth, then the lie sound promising. Prophecy, gift and the curse. Dylan started killing, they was sitting in church. Black folk forgave him, man, this shit is absurd. You should never love your enemy, that shit ain't gon' work. Yeah, fuck dying on your knees, you better die in glory. Man, I joined the UPK, taught me the art of warring. I took a nigga life like mine to be recognized. I feel that pain every day, it can't be reconciled. Pops banging, my sister a prostitute. My brother got life, and somehow I still found the truth. War ready, no cowards, no excuse. Fuck reparations, you can't bandage no open wounds. Blood on the leaves, body swing hung from a noose. I was on a run in Nashville and I found the truth. I called the school, classes being held by the shock on my life. I want to be a gangster like a cop. Do this for my brothers, real brotherhood. Everything we do, we got it out this book. My nigga, I can never be no African. UPK the only authorized acronym. I'm passionate about my brothers and sisters. We in hell, I ain't got nothing against them. That's another religion. If it ain't under your honor, ain't he murdered by them and got a hug from your honor. That's the way out for a coward in my observation. They don't fear the Lord, they indoctrinated. Wolves in sheep clothing, Joe Osteen. Real priest bringing back black royalty. One West on my headpiece, ranking order. Can't let them trick me off the streets, I gotta raise my daughter. I got brothers at the border ducking ICE agents. I got the name change, it was life changing. My family thought it was a game. Put on all black, they said I was going through a phase. There's more of us in jail than it was slaves. Chose by the Lord, we could never be the same. Soon as they born, the wicked go astray. They left the truth, they wasn't with us anyway. Niggas weak, they just saying anything to be truthful. We don't want no cowards anyway. Look, coronavirus, that's a plague. You don't get too much sleep when you waking up the dead. First camp, I cut off all my dreads. I took an oath when that oil hit my head. Niggas capping like they lids. I'm a priest, I never stick no fork in no pig. I was dead till I found out how to live. This brotherhood taught me how to be a man. I came back to my roots, I had to dig. A couple gaps I had to bridge. I got a rib, I'm married to this work. You wanna serve the Lord, he ain't in the Christian church. Came back to my roots, I had to dig. A couple gaps I had to bridge. I got a rib, I'm married to this work. You wanna serve the Lord, he ain't in the Christian church.
always said this song right here, I was like, this part.
I want to. All right.
Let's see. Right, let's clap it up. Shalom, Israel. We are the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Started out on 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. Priest and Officer 5000, Kasar Pakad. This is the Thursday night scripture breakdown for ISUBK Northern California, ISUBK Oakland, Bay Area. If you were in the Bay Area, you are invited to come to class. 2213 McDonald Avenue, Richmond, California. Yeah, so that's it. With that, we're going to go and set any questions in the room, any questions online. Go ahead, type them in if you're online, and we'll go from there. Live. All right. Give it one more second online. Let's see if anybody types in. Right. Go ahead and like the class. If you over watching online, go ahead, like the class, share the class, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So we're going to get straight into it. I'm going to give a brief breakdown of the concept of the class and what is the spirit behind this class, the title of the class. The title is You Can Learn a Lot from Satan. I got that from a song by Kanye West. It's called A Devil in a New Dress or something like that. And in the song, he says, we love Jesus, but you can learn a lot from Satan. I remember the first time hearing that. It was the time where a lot of stuff was coming out about the Illuminati, talking about everybody in the music industry is devil worshipers, Satan worshipers, and people were getting into these conspiracy theories, looking up to all these rituals that these rappers and musicians are supposed to be doing. So to me, the first time I heard that, I'm like, yeah, Kanye West definitely worships Satan. He's definitely on his evil hype. That whole era of Kanye West, he was doing things that seemed very satanic. You remember that? You know what I mean? Like the No One Man Should Have That Power, the video with the Egyptian imagery, the chessboards, the columns, and all this Roman Greek mythology everywhere. You know, it was just all over the place, and all these artists were doing the same thing at the same time. And I don't know if it was some big play for them to do it because they heard that people were talking about this, and it's going to give them more looks or more views or more clicks or whatever. But also on the other side, we do know that this is a part of the industry. This is a part of American culture. Worshiping Satan, satanic church, all of those things are a part of mainstream popular culture, mainstream, whatever, music, right? So at one point in time, it dawned on me in another way, because they say you should study your enemies. You should know your enemies. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. So I said, okay, if you want to learn about the truth, maybe you should study what your enemy is teaching and what your enemy is saying. So I'm not sure if that's what Kanye West meant, but that's how I'm going to take it. Okay, let me see what the Church of Satan teaches. Let me see what these people that worship the devil believe and think. And that can also prove what is right about the Lord, what is right about God, because everything they're doing is contrary to the Lord. So this video I'm going to go into, I'm going to play a lot of it. You know, if you want to put it on the TV as well, so you can watch it while we're listening to it in class. It might be a little bit of a delay. Usually it is, but it still can, you know, be a little bit better while you're watching it right there. But we're going to play a lot of these video. I will skip through some things, do a couple breakdowns, but let me see. Let me go to. Pull a precept first before we keep going. You said something before the class, and it had a precept in my mind. I can't remember what it was. But do you remember anything you were saying on this topic before we got into it? It might be vague. It might come to us in a minute, but it was something. I wish I would have wrote it down. But let's get Matthew chapter 7 and verse 16. Start at verse 15. Matter of fact, start at 13. Come on down. This is important.
The book of Matthew, chapter 7 and verse 13.
Go ahead, read out.
Enter ye in at the straight gate,
Mm-hmm.
for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction.
Right, like enter in the straight gate. Coming into the truth, it's not a wide area. It's not made for everyone. A lot of the power that the Christian church has, the power that the Church of Satan has, the power that the Muslim mosque, any of these other false religions that worship false gods have, comes from their ability to make it easy to follow them. The easier it is to follow them, the easier it is for them to make money. You want to go and join the Christian church? Show up. Come as you are. They tell you, come as you are. They don't even tell you to change. Like at least the old Christian church will be like, come as you are, and then eventually you're going to change. They just say, come wearing whatever. You can go, literally, I've been to churches where the girls look like they're wearing the same thing they wore at the club the night before. You know what I mean? Like smoke a blunt outside the church, go in church. Leave church, smoke another blunt. Like there is no rules to being a Christian, so they have thousands of members. And that's why we was able to see Marvin Sapp. Did you see what he was saying? Like the actual footage of it? Okay, that's where the charges you was talking about earlier came from. I'm gonna play it real quick, man. And this is, you know, how we get sidetracked. I digress, but Marvin Sapp. Let me see if this comes up, man. Hopefully they play a short of this. Christians are wild. You talk about Big U. You able to see it down there? You go to Oakland Israelites. It's just a delay. What do you see?
I just see you, sir.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't share the screen of this. I thought I was sharing it. My fault. The water for letting me know. Let me share it on here for the brothers. I didn't share it to the screen. The water. That's what I did wrong. My bad. But yeah, he told him to close the door.
It's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight. I'm challenging each of you all down here to give a $20 seed. I actually think $20 is a lot of money. $20, believe it or not, when my late wife, Melinda P. Sapp, was alive, was a good.
So I'm even going to keep playing this nonsense. But he said, close the doors, though. Like, I guess, you know, because Christians are so friendly and nice, they can play with games like that. But we can't even do that in the UPK. You understand? Like, there was like, close the door, Hakim. Everybody, we need 100 out of everybody for y'all leave out of here. Like, this shit feel kind of like this feel like a robbery. You know what I mean? But they try to mask it with jokes and hide it. But he is, you know what I mean? Because when you see that neighbor pull out that 20, you're like, damn, let me go to the ATM. You know, some churches got ATMs in them now. You go in there and they like, you ain't got the money on you. We got an ATM machine in the back and go pull that out. You know what I'm saying? Some churches, they telling you to show your tax forms to them. You know what I'm saying? And that's why laughing. I'm not even gonna show. I'll show you after class. You remind me. This fake Israelites was talking about the UBK. I was telling you that earlier. Like they're like these brothers make people give them money and make people take all of their check and give it up to the general. I'm like, I've never seen that. And like that other lie, they false charges they put on Commander Giuliani. They said that he stole money from a brother in the school. The brother they said he stole it from was General Muhammad. They said for one, he stole like $400,000 or something like that, or 40,000 or something like that. General Muhammad was like, for one, I wish I had that. You know what I mean? But sure, knowing General Muhammad, he's not the type of brother to let somebody steal something from him and then still be close to him like this. So it's like, I don't know about you other fake Israelites out there. I don't know about you other niggas, but for them to have in their mind that the UPK is where Commander Giuliani is going to extort niggas like Captain McCall, you're going to extort Captain Gadolhar. Like, do you know the type of niggas you're talking about? We're not them type of niggas. Now, your fake Israelite group, you might go through something like that, where they shaking you down and taking your this and taking your that. But that's not in the UPK. So it doesn't even make sense. But I digress. These are the things that they say they do in the Christian church, but that's not what we're doing in here, man. All right? Shalom, shalom. Well, let's go. We're going to go to this video. We're going to play a lot of clips from it. I'm going to see how far we can get.
Host of the nationally syndicated talk show, Talkback. My concern about Satanism is the result of research conducted to write my book, Satanism, The Seduction of America's Youth. What you're going to see on this video will be revealing, shocking, and for some of you, disturbing. But it's important information you need to know.
Right.
In 1966, a one-time carnival performer named Anton LaVey shaved his head, donned a hooded black robe, conducted a devil-worshipping black mass, and established the Church of Satan.
You don't.
So we skip ahead. So the concept is, the title of the class is You Can Learn a Lot from Satan. And I don't know if you was able to see that, Mokai. Okay, no, on the, just coming into class, if you saw the beginning or not. So just give y'all a recap so they just throw you off what we're in here talking about. The Kanye West had a song. He said, we love Jesus, but you can learn a lot from Satan. And I was like, that sounded crazy to me when I was in the world. And I was convinced that he worshipped the devil at the time. And then at some point in time, I heard that you should, keep your friends close and your enemies closer, and you should study your enemies. And so I was like, let me look into see what are the beliefs of the Satanic Church? What do they teach? What do they follow? And that can show you who we are not. Like who the Lord is because they're counter to everything the Lord wants. Go ahead. You can learn a lot from Satan. You can learn a lot from Satan. Yeah, exactly. That's on purpose. You understand? Does anybody know what the main rule or the main law of the Church of Satan is? Or Satanists? Go ahead.
Do as thou wilt.
Damn right. Well, it's gonna be a tough one to say, get that brother in. But yeah, it is. You know what I mean? What does that mean? You can speak loud. We don't got the mic, huh?
So, fuck, sir.
Mm-hmm.
If I may, do as thou wilt, if you are your own God.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much, it's just letting you know. It's just like, it doesn't matter any type of higher authority. Like there is no higher authority above yourself.
Right.
Like you gotta care about yourself before anything else.
Right. Exactly. So, like I said, it's so many gems in studying Satanists, improving that this is the truth. Right? Okay. All right, I'm gonna get into it, but just to add on to that, even that alone in itself, they teach do as thou wilt, do whatever you want to do. That is what their belief system is centered around, and it's completely opposite of the Bible. What's the precept for that? If your life purpose, that's the key right there. You can paraphrase it if you find it. Your life purpose is following Satan is do whatever you want to do. What is your purpose in life according to the Lord, to the Bible? Go ahead.
Following the law, statutes, and commandments.
Okay, but where can you show that in the Bible? And that's a right answer.
Nah.
Oh, snap. Brothers like, we never leaving this at not taking it to camp. Is that the mind behind it?
Okay.
Just keep it connected to the speaker. I mean, should be. Yeah, that too. But yeah, Most High Christ is a good spirit, right? Maybe stop there. All right, Most High Christ. The question is,
Yes, sir.
you found it?
I'm gonna pull Matthew 22, verse 36 through.
Go ahead with what you got.
Sir. The book of Matthew, chapter 22, and verse 36.
Mm-hmm.
Master, which is the great commandment in the law,
Mm-hmm.
Yahushua said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart.
Right. So that's something positive, but that's not quite what I'm asking. My question is, the Satanists, their number one rule is do as that thou wilt, which is no rules at all, right? That's your life purpose and life goal. That's contrary to what the Bible teaches your life purpose is. What is that according to the Bible? I want a precept though.
So yes, sir. I know it's in Matthew. It's love the Lord with all your heart.
That's what he was pulling. Live. He said, "No, that's not it." That would have been crazy if I would have said, "Get that brother hand." Nah. Go ahead.
No.
He said, "That's
So
what."
I am a little confused though.
No sweat.
Because it's either I was gonna pull this or I was gonna pull the most important commandment, which is to love thy brother.
Yeah, that's that. I know the whole precept.
Because I'm thinking like the opposite of what they believe in. If they're all looking out for themselves,
Mm-hmm.
then they don't really care about. It
Okay.
don't seem like they really care about other Satanists. So it's like, you know what I mean? I feel like it would be the opposite of that.
That's a good one. But in the context of saying, when someone asks you, what's the meaning of life? Go ahead. Where is that in the Bible? Prove it with a precept. Yeah, if you need to look it up, I'll give you one more second, and for time's sake, get it. I'm gonna give you one shot. You understand? That's a very important question. I almost want to give you a hint because. All right, you got one more second. All right.
So is it Deuteronomy 11 and 22?
La. What is that though?
It says, if you shall diligently keep all these commandments which I command you,
Mhm.
to do them, to love the Lord your God,
Mhm.
to walk in all his ways,
Mhm.
and to cleave unto him.
Right. That doesn't tell you what your life purpose is.
Oh.
Right? Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Baba Kashah. The whole entire book of Ecclesiastes is asking that question. What is the purpose of life? What is the meaning of life? Why are we here? If you read this book, it was written by King Solomon, and his question is, Solomon is the wealthiest man, the wisest man to ever live, and he's like, man, is it to have a big family, and is it have to make a lot of money? Is it this or that? It's all vanity. It means nothing. When you pass on, no matter how great Michael Jackson is, 1,000 years from now, nobody's really going to care. And if you do care, you really don't care like you cared when he was here. And if even instill that, the people that care about you 1,000 years from now don't really matter in essence. Like, who cares that they care? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. None of this stuff matters. Your life means nothing. It's all vanity when you boil it down. I had the flyest car. I had the nicest clothes. I was dripped out. You know that 20 years from now, those clothes are going to be trash compared to the new generation. Like somebody in the 70s was walking with high platform shoes on and You know what I mean? They're like, I'm dripped out. Today they're like, you look crazy. It's the same thing. Every time someone thinks they're doing something, turns out it's not. So go ahead and read that precept. Ecclesiastes 12 and verse 13. Go ahead, Malachi, you got it? Go ahead and read it. All right.
This book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, and verse 13. Chapter 12, verse 13.
Right.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
This is what he found out at the end. After all this, he said, let's hear the conclusion of the whole issue. Go ahead.
Fear God.
Do what?
Fear God.
All right.
And keep his commandments.
Do as thou wilt. Do whatever you want.
And keep his commandments.
This is what you should do in life. You don't have to fear anybody. You're God. Do what you want to do. Our book says, fear God. You need to be afraid of a power greater than you. Read it again. Fear God. What?
Fear God and keep his commandments.
And keep his commandments. You have to obey. Don't do what you want to do. You want to get high? Don't do it. You want to smoke cigarettes? Don't do it. You want to love white women? Don't do it. You want to eat pork? You want to eat shrimp? You want to eat crab? You want to eat lobster? You want to celebrate Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween, Easter? Don't do it. It's a whole list of what not to do. That's our God. Satan is do whatever you want. The white man, do whatever you want. And it sounds nice, right? Doesn't that sound great? That sounds loving and peaceful. Do whatever you want to do. That's what makes you happy. And then you start to realize they've been indoctrinating our people with Satanism through the music industry, because that's literally what all the artists say all the time. Go ahead.
So it's heavy that you're bringing out right now, just because like the Christian church is literally teaching Satanism when they tell you to love everybody.
Exactly.
Lead with love.
Exactly.
Like, it's crazy that you say that, because I was watching this is a couple years ago, I was watching something on YouTube with the Satanists, right? They did an interview with a couple of them, and they're just like, well, if my prerogative is to love, then I'm doing exactly what I want.
Right.
I love everything and everyone.
Right.
So it's just like, that's literally what the Christian church is telling you what to do. So it's just happy that you're bringing that out.
Get a brother in. Yeah. Most times, right. Like that's the reason of this class. It's twofold, threefold, it's almost fourfold. Not only can you learn from Satan what the truth is, because he's a lie. You understand? Not only can you learn who we are based on what they believe, you can also learn who the Christian church is, because they are the same. You understand? That was one of my questions, but you jumped ahead. But I'm still going to bring that question back. But let's go ahead. I'm gonna play some of these clips, man. Let me see how far we can get. This might be a two-part, but a lot of this stuff is very important in this video.
Have a movement without moving.
And the archetype of the devil has always been as a showman.
And he
all
always
musicians,
admitted that.
all artists, anyone who has a creative way of attracting attention has always been accused of having diabolical powers.
Now, but what I find interesting is, although many people like yourself might think that he was only doing it for gimmick's sake, and because he.
This is somebody named Zena LeVay. Her father is Anton LaVey. He founded the Church of Satan in 1966, and guess where he founded it at? San Francisco. Right across the water. Right across the bridge in San Francisco, California. We're in the same area where they have the Bohemian Grove. All of these artistic people that followed the occult came into the Bay Area and developed a culture here. So a lot of the things that are in Bay Area culture have gone out to the rest of the world, really have roots in Satanism. You understand? So that of us all coming together is very Bay Area. You know what I'm saying? All cultures being together, the homosexuality from the LGBT community. San Francisco is the home of it. It's no coincidence that the Church of Satan was founded there. You understand? The hippie culture, getting high, drugs, all of those things come from this city and right here. So his daughter, 20 years later in the 80s, is having an interview with a Christian pastor. And so he's interviewing them and trying to cut them on what they believe. So that's
a good
almost
show,
like play it at a faster speed. I don't know if it's going to sound weird if I speed it up a little bit for time's sake. Let's see how it sounds when I speed it up like this.
you also complain that he won't come and be on your show.
Yeah.
So now which is it? Would you rather have him be a good showman and come on your show?
Well, why doesn't he come out of the closet?
He's not in a closet. He's living his life happily.
Oh, is he?
not,
Is he? Okay,
he
yeah.
is fronting an
Listen,
organization.
he
that-
came out of the closet in 1966 so
When
that
Anton
everybody
LaVey
else could come out of the
but excuse
closet.
me, but he is not making his views, his doctrines, his
His
beliefs.
views
Oh,
and
he's not.
doctrines are
Open,
available in the
he's not
Satanic
making
Bible.
them
And a
open
little bit
to the
faster.
objective inquiry
Sure
of,
he is.
of the press, of journalists,
Sure he
of
is.
anyone. No, he's not. I mean, you are speaking for him, but he does not put himself on the line to
He's
defend what he
past that
believes.
point. He's past that point.
He no longer has the need to speak to the media in that.
Not discuss my father's private life because I don't think it's anybody's business. But she was definitely a devout follower of the satanic philosophy.
Well, his private life has been pretty well discussed in a number of notable books on the
Well,
subject.
that's there for people who wish to
Okay, well, if
discover
you
it.
prefer not to, fine, but I'm trying to get some facts here. The curse, the story of the curse that killed Jane Mansfield, that your father supposedly put on someone else and she happened to be in the car.
Well,
Any
that's
truth
been
to that?
published in a number of books and papers also. So do you want me to talk about things?
I'm
that
just
have been
asking. I'm just
printed?
asking you. I'm asking you. I'm coming straight to
No,
the
there was
source
no
here.
curse.
There was
placed
no
on her.
curse. So she was not decapitated because she was in the wrong place at the wrong time because of your father's curse. That's
I
a.
would say she was in the wrong place at the wrong time, obviously.
But your father did not put a curse at her request. I mean,
On Sam
on Sam
Brody,
Brody.
yes, but not on her.
No,
Not
but he
on
did
her.
put a curse, and because she happened to be in the car with him when he was killed, she got
Because
killed
she
too.
ignored Anton LaVey's request that she break communications with Sam Brody, warned
Which
her
would have been the
to
healthy thing
stay
to do
away from her.
since-
So she did not
So,
do
but
that.
your father did put a curse on
Sam
Sam.
Brody.
Okay, I'm just trying to get the
Right.
story straight here. Marilyn Monroe. What was the connection with Marilyn Monroe?
That was an affair that the two of them had when they were both very young and were relatively unknown. It just so happened that both of their lives took off in a direction that, garnered some fame. But
Mhm.
at the time that they had this affair, they were both very young, late teens, early 20s.
Sammy Davis Jr. He's been pictured
Right.
worshiping at one of your father's altars, wearing a pentagram.
Mhm.
Was he at a time a follower of the church?
At a time, yes.
Are there any prominent stars today who are followers openly of the Church of Satan, such as these people were back in the 60s?
There are, and some of them we already know of. Some
Who?
of them, well, if you want entertainers, King Diamond is a member of the Church of Satan. He openly admits that. None of these other heavy metal people are.
Right.
And then there are other actors as well.
Because of
actresses.
For whom? For example, whom?
Well, because of the recent hysteria we've seen, I'm not going to put their
There
their
are people in
careers
every
in
field of
jeopardy.
endeavor, in architecture,
Well,
science,
Oh, as a
art.
matter of
why?
fact.
You see, you blame it on hysteria, but in fact, if
That's a little gem. There are people in every area: architects, doctors, lawyers that follow and worship Satan that we don't know. And then we always hear things about Black women have the most deaths at birth. You know what I'm saying? They're not surviving these things. It starts to make you wonder and question, like, which one of them doctors worship Satan? If you were a doctor and you worship Satan, probably being an abortion doctor would be the best job for you. You know what I'm saying? So it just lets you just think about these people and how they're moving around our
if
society.
they're a follower of Satan, should they not be willing to step forward and say so? I mean,
Well, that's what we're embarking on now.
Well,
We
what
are
the
in
90s are
process.
going to see is a massive rise of Satanism. People are going to come out of the shadows and reveal themselves as thoroughgoing Satanists. Because what we're seeing now is the death struggle between the Judeo-Christian idea and archetype and the more ancient satanic archetype.
Nicholas,
So that's another part. He said there's going to be a resurgence, like it's going to rise out in the 90s. And we saw that in the 2000s, it really kicked in. You understand? Like that's when it was just like blatant Satanism on every video, every rappers and rock stars. At least back then in the 90s, it was like rock and roll. They always was throwing up the pitchforks. They always, you know what I'm saying, was Marilyn Manson was ripping up Bibles and setting them on fire. Go ahead.
Fuck, sir, if I may, it's crazy that they say that because it's just like when you like look into like all the conspiracy things and music, like early on, like you'd have to play a song backwards,
Right.
record it just to be able to hear the subversive message behind it with the Satanists.
Right.
And like today, like you just said, like they just straight out show the imagery, they say the words, like it's kind of crazy. Like you got XXXTentacion before he died, damn near praying to Satan in
Right.
music videos. So
Right.
it's just like, yeah, it's definitely had a surge in recent times.
Right. And the other part is once you read and like listen to the ideology of this stuff. I'm gonna send you some stuff real quick, Mawakan. Let me send this to you. Then when you read and see the ideology, not only do you see it in blatant Satanism, you see it in all the other things that they have. So like there's something called the New Age movement. Y'all familiar with that a little bit? So New Age movement is like, you are God, all religions, there's no such thing as sin. There is, multiple ways to worship God, and we're our own spiritual, like spiritualism and all that. That is Satanism in a different light. And they literally say the exact same things, almost verbatim, when it comes to this New Age, mentality.
For $100, anybody can join the Church of Satan. That's what the membership form says. And that's a lifetime membership.
They can join the Church of Satan on that level. However, to become an active member of the Church of Satan requires that you are already doing something to advocate Satanism. Simply by joining, you do not become a Satanist.
So that's just a quick, easy $100 to pocket.
No, it's
it is because just what do you get for your $100? A little membership card that says, "Hi, I'm a Satanist."
No, Satanism is not like Christianity, a way of gathering sheep together in one place. We feel that the best way to change the world into a satanic arena is by having strong individuals in different areas do their own individual work. So by joining the Church of Satan, you enter into the possibility of going into the higher echelons of the Church of Satan.
But if you join a Christian,
that was a couple things. You want to wrap that? Give me Ephesians chapter 4, verse 4. You hear something of the king. Individuals. Remember, we was talking about that. The key to white supremacy is individualism. The key to America running is individualism. If you can focus on yourself, then you are being American. Because if your success comes from you, then that is on you. If you're not successful, it's your fault. If you are, it's because you worked hard and you are smarter than everyone else. But the reality is that the real power comes from your group and how you move as a group. And the real reason why Black people are suffering in America is because we're oppressed as a group and they work as a group to oppress us. But if you can convince everybody it's about being yourself, being an individual, then that is going to destroy you. Then on top of that, he said they want to make strong individuals to do this. I think what was the one thing he said right there that that was key. Let me go back a second and see if I catch it real quick. So I get 10:30 right here. Let me see.
Do their own individual work. So by joining the Church of Satan, you enter into the possibility of going into the higher echelons of the Church of Satan.
But if you join,
all right, there, like he said, just because you do this, don't make you a real member. Just because you're not in the truth. You feel me? Just because you're doing this, you're not really in the truth to them. So we're gonna flip it. You're not in the lie. You know what I'm saying? Like they got rank in their organization. You're not a high-ranking Satanist because you're just lower level. You know what I'm saying? So the same way, like, and that's why we say coming to the truth. I remember when Captain Yadazak said something so heavy. He was like, man, you ain't fighting your demons. You being weak. You fall into your demons. Them demons is proving you to not be strong. That demon's getting rank raises off of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't let that demon get no rank raises off of you. He's like, look, my Lord, I was able to get him to do this, and her to do that, and them to do this. And I'm moving up. You know what I'm saying? It's just like we work to help brothers. They're working to destroy us. Like these cats, the Pope and, Elon Musk, he trying to get Hitler had stripes. You feel me? Like if he's like commanding General Hitler, you know what I mean? That's Trump today. Like he's moving up. Like how much evil can I put underneath on my plate? Right. You know what I mean? But go ahead, Ephesians 4:4.
This is the book of Ephesians chapter 4, verse 4. Whereby, when ye read, ye may understand my knowledge in the mystery.
Ephesians 4:4.
No sweat. The book of Ephesians chapter 4, verse 4. There is one body,
right,
and one spirit, even as ye are called in one hope of your calling.
Right. So it's not individualism; it's being together. Christianity is individualism too, because they teach you have a personal relationship with God. You can read the Bible, You can have a spirit. That's what Christians are always going to tell you. You're going to battle a Christian. They're going to say the reason why they don't follow you is because they don't trust the spirit. Spirit hasn't led me to you. The spirit hasn't revealed to me what this is. I need to be in the spirit of this and that. Like, I just follow my own. Like, whatever God tells me to do is what I do. Well, I'm spiritual. That's another big one. We talked about that before, right? It's all about you and your personal relationship with God. But the Bible says that your heart is desperately wicked and deceiving your own self, your mind. You know what I mean? You're supposed to learn from someone. You're supposed to be taught, and God always deals in one. He's not about to be dealing with a multiple group. He's going to be dealing with one leader, one group, and teaching one truth. Go ahead.
Verse 5. One Lord.
Right.
One faith.
Right.
One baptism.
It's always one. So how can you have your individual way to follow the Lord? Right.
In a Christian church, there is some obligatory relationship that you have, some duties, responsibilities.
Well,
the Christian do you not have any duties? I mean, you pay your $100, you get your card, and that's it. You don't
if
require
that's all
anything.
you choose to do. Most Satanists, as most Christians, are not fully committed. Most Christians are not fervent.
And you guys got that problem too.
Everyone has. When you are dealing with human beings, you have the problem of insincerity. How many Christians are truly Christian? I maybe met 5 in my entire
Well,
life.
if they're not truly Christian, then they're not Christians.
So that just becomes a semantic problem.
Yeah, can you be a Satanist and not truly be a Satanist?
It's a problem of semantics, as I said. You can say you're a Martian. Well, what does that mean? Satanism is a very broad-based word. To be a member of the Church of Satan is another thing. If I say Bob Larson represents Christianity, therefore does Bob Larson represent Jim Jones and Jim Baker and Jimmy Swaggart and Charles Manson, other people who have called themselves Christians? So you understand the problem. It's a
question. We just said we're not affiliated with these fake Satanists. They are not in the lie. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing in the truth. Like, bro, you can say you're Israelite. Anybody can say they're Israelite. What does that mean? You feel me? It's semantics. You know what I mean? Give me what's that? John 1:47. Let me see if that's what I want. So I think that's what I want. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Let me see. Yep. Go ahead.
The book of John, chapter 1, verse 47. Yahweh saw Nathanael coming to him and saith of him, Behold,
right,
an Israelite indeed.
A what?
An Israelite indeed.
This brother was an Israelite indeed. There's a difference between being an Israelite and just saying you're Israelite. He's an Israelite indeed in action, in what he does, not in what he says. They all knew they were Israelites. They all knew that they were of the chosen family. But being an Israelite indeed is different. Go ahead.
Come. In whom is no guile.
In whom is what?
No guile.
What does guile mean?
Guile, like fake. Like fake.
That's partial. Yep. Anything else?
It's like fake genuine.
I'll take that. Guile, definition, sly, cunning, intelligence, craftiness. It's like trickery. You understand? Like to lie. To cunning is like what we've all learned in the ghetto to be slick, you know, and that's the characteristics of Esau, because he's a cunning hunter. He's very deceiving in how he moves, and that's what we're seeing right here. So we're gonna keep going and play this some more. Let's see. I'm gonna skip a
question of semantics and definition.
Okay, let's talk about the church for a minute, because there's so much that I would know and take for granted, and certainly you would know much more and take for granted that the average person has no understanding of. It is a church. It takes that moniker. It presumes that position. And when we think of a church,
semantics, I would define as the use of will and ritual combined to create change in the world without any restraint on what that change might be. No hypocritical pretending that we are appealing to a higher force.
Well, have you been to a satanic marriage? I mean, have the ceremony?
And to any supernatural entity.
And even to decide if you even want to be married at all.
Marriage is not mandatory, nothing is mandatory.
Would you marry 2 lesbians?
I personally do not believe that homosexuality is a natural practice any more than you do. And I don't.
Would you marry them if they thought it was and wanted to be? I mean, Anton LaVey, the
If they were
Satanic Bible
Satanists,
certainly
then they
condones
would
it.
certainly be able to marry themselves and consider themselves married.
Well, it may sound like an absurd question, but suppose Joe
mean, if
wants
you
to
want-
marry his golden retriever. If we're all animals, I think can Joe conceivably marry his dog?
Speaking for the Werewolf Order, which is my organization in particular, we do not feel that homosexuality is a healthy or natural or safe or hygienic practice.
Well, you're contradicting
not-
Anton in the Satanic Bible.
No, what I would agree with him in this sense, that I do not prescribe any moral onus against it. What I'm saying is do whatever you want to do, but accept the consequences that come with it. And
Well, you're not answering the question about the golden retriever, and I'm not.
No, I don't. I believe bestiality is as repugnant to me as it is to you, but not for moral reasons, but because of natural reasons.
Wait, but earlier you said we're all animals. I mean, an
We are-
animal's an animal.
Well,
So what's the
animals
difference?
animals
Golden
don't breed.
retriever wouldn't mate with a Siamese cat.
Yeah, only
So neither
humans.
would a human
Only
and a golden
humans
retriever.
are so neurotic that they
Well,
break the natural law.
Without getting too intellectual here, you do have some.
What? Question?
Sorry, sir.
Huh?
So just like we were talking about earlier, when we were kind of watching this video, it's like they believe in some form of natural law,
Right.
but they don't go by any laws.
Right.
Like you could do anything that you want,
Mm-hmm.
but you know that there's consequences that come with doing what you want. They know that there is some form of natural law.
Mm-hmm.
If you do bestiality, if you start doing homosexuality, like there's things, there's consequences that come with these, which
Mhm.
means there's some form of law.
Right. So what is
that they don't believe in any law.
So you just saying, is any question or just making more of a comment?
No, I'm just making more of a comment. It just
Okay.
doesn't make any sense to me.
Right. What even added on to that even more is even them saying that makes them better than Christians. Like even this Satanist, like I'm watching an interview later on, I was telling you about that. And that's what this thing really reveals. She did an interview later on, 20, 30 years later, more recently, like in the past 10 years. And she was like, growing up, her father had these strict rules in her house, like, so they wouldn't shame the Church of Satan because they knew everyone was looking to see them do something wrong. So they had a lot of rules for her inside the house. So it was like, she was like, she clearly could tell he didn't want her to do drugs. He would say, yeah, if you want to try drugs, make sure you communicate with us. But she knew he did not want her to get high on drugs. So it was like their kids actually were better than a lot of Christian kids that grew up with a pastor because there are no rules in the Christian church. You know what I'm saying? It's like anything goes. So that's one thing. But yeah, it doesn't make sense, right? Because they don't want to put morals onto it. So it's once again, it's confusion. God is not the author of confusion, and we're not animals. So they're trying to put us on the same level of animals as opposed to us being above the animals and being separate. So that's another thing that you'll hear a lot in modern times, that we're just animals. You know what I mean? We're just different animals that are walking around. No, we're not. We're humans. We're made in the image of the Most High God. We can have rules and use rules and implement them. You know what I'm saying? We're above a base level, boy.
I mean, it's like, do you think that also like affects their psyche and like when they look at the Christian, like they might limit themselves from doing something, and they believe they have full free will. So it's like, I'm not doing this because I don't want to do this outside of a higher time. And do you think that makes it so that they look down on Christians because they can say you're not doing this because you're afraid of something?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Once again, they don't fear anything and they allow anyone to do anything. You can sleep with an animal. I just don't think it's good for me. You can sleep with a child. I just wouldn't do it because they have no rules. So they open up that gray area for all this evil to come in. You understand? But yeah, even the Christian church nowadays, they don't even want to say nothing is wrong. You know what I mean? So that's that. Something else was on my mind, but I'm gonna see if it might come back to me.
Oh yes, I have a
Speciation,
strong See,
differentiation.
that's something.
That in effect you're not willing to call morals, but in effect places you as a human animal on a higher rung of evolution's ladder.
That's another thing. If the laws of God make us above the animals, that also is what makes the children of Israel above all these other nations as well. You know what I mean? Because without the laws, you are like an animal. And that's why you will see animalistic behaviors all over the world. I was talking to a brother, and matter of fact, man, maybe I should call this brother right now. He might be able to watch us online, man. Right now, get his brother a call. Matter of fact, I'm all over the place. A lot of guys. Let's see if his brother call in, but I was supposed to. But he was telling me in China, there's rumors that they're eating human hearts. You know what I'm saying? Eating humans. He said that even the Iscarite brothers, they're going in a cartel, they worshiping these different demons, and now they're eating raw hearts, passing it around. It's because there's no law. Where there is no law, there is sin. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we'll see if he calls back. But yeah, anything else? We're gonna keep going. All right, let's keep going.
No.
You certain priorities over what you do to the rest.
No, absolutely not. In fact, I believe that animals should be protected by humans, as it is our duty as the inheritors of the earth to protect the God may be
even common sense. I mean, even leaving God out of it to suggest that you can make up your own reality. My goodness, that's what they did in Tiananmen Square. That's what they did in Germany.
To our animal natures. We are beasts, and we decide from gut instinct whether we have been wronged or not.
Excuse me, you've never done, you've never done anything wrong and thought you were right?
Let's back up even further.
Right.
Talks about
in
now.
the Satanic Bible.
Zena, these are the three put forth in the Satanic Bible. Describe them. Destruction ritual. What is a destruction ritual?
Well, we believe in vengeance. We don't believe in turning the other cheek. You keep turning the other cheek and you run out of cheeks. We feel that if you are wronged in some way, that you take it out with the person responsible, whether that's directly or indirectly, whether that's actually going to the person and addressing the problem or the issue specifically, or whether it's working it out through ritual.
May I ask, before you go on,
That one.
have you never...
That was a key one right there. I had that part at that timestamp. She said, if you got an issue with a person, what do? Let me see. I'm going to back it up real quick. Hold on. Let's see. I'm going to play it right here. I'm going to go back a little bit.
Rituals.
You heard
passionate ritual.
Something about vengeance. She said if you turn the other cheek, you eventually run out of cheeks.
Right. And I'm adding to it. Let's see.
Rituals and destructive rituals.
And many more. Those are three.
Well, those are the three main ones
Right.
Anton
Right.
talks about.
In
Now,
the Satanic Bible.
Zena, these are the three put forth in the Satanic Bible. Describe them. Destruction ritual. What is a destruction ritual?
Well, we believe in vengeance. We don't believe in turning the other cheek. You keep turning the other cheek and you run out of cheeks. We feel that if you are wronged in some way, that you take it out with the person responsible, whether that's directly or indirectly, whether that's actually going to the person and addressing the problem or the issue specifically, or whether it's working it out through ritual.
May I ask?
Catch that? What's that right there? What?
It's like you said, you working it out through ritual.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's straightforward. You got it.
Yeah, I mean I'm picturing them getting all hooded up with the thing and putting the camera.
Yeah. Doing some type of put a curse. Heck, yeah.
Or something on somebody.
Good.
Sorry, sir. The latter, before she said the ritual, she said just go to them and deal with it. Them.
You can.
Yeah, con.
Or
Ritual or
yeah. Now, what is that? What is the contrast? So like I said, we can always go back and forth between what we do and what they teach.
Sorry, sir. I'm not sure.
It's right there. You know what I mean? See, this
Right. You can either go straight to that person and address the issue, or just let the Lord handle it first.
No. Yeah. Matthew 18. Go to he and he alone. You have an ought. You understand? You go to that brother, sister, you say that you've been offended. If you can't, you go to a council, get it resolved. They like, you can or don't have to do that. You could, but you don't have to. And if you don't, you could even go and pray that they get destroyed. You see what I'm saying? Like, that is not what we're taught. You see what I mean? So when we operate that way, it's satanic. You see what I mean? That's why I'm saying you can learn a lot from Satan. You don't want to be like them. You want to do everything opposite of them. You know from Hebrew Academy, how does American military march? Left, 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 right, left, 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 right, left. How do we march in Hebrew Academy? Right, 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 left, right, 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 left, right. Everything we do is opposite of this place. Everything we do is counter what they do. Everything they believe is literally opposite of what we believe. That's how you know we're the home of the truth and they're the home of the lie. They're going to tell you all the lies that Satan has believed, and we're going to realize, like, damn, everything they say is counter them. And also, everything they say is very Christian, which shows that we're counter that. You know what I mean? So it just reveals so much throughout this information, how close, not how close they are to each other. And it shows how on point we are with the truth.
Before you go on, have you never had an experience in your life? I certainly have, where I felt I was wronged by someone else, only as I matured later in life to discover, in fact, that in that circumstance, I was the one who was wrong, and it was my own selfish ego that placed upon it the imprimatur of saying I was wrong. So that, but what I'm saying is, if you claim the right to get even with anyone at any time, what if you're wrong? What if you do a destruction ritual?
Well, how do you know that you were wrong?
And what's wrong with your selfish ego? I would think your selfish ego is a healthier gauge of reality than some moral system found.
I would think it's very blinding, because in fact,
by instinct, how could that be blinding?
We're getting back to our animal natures. We are beasts, and we decide from gut instinct whether we have been wronged or not.
Excuse me, you've never done anything wrong and thought you were right?
Let's back up even further. Maybe if what you were experiencing was some youthful ego thing that you think you were wrong, what about infants that are passed from one relative to another and they're fine, and they get to one person and they just start screaming, and there's something there that's wrong, and an infant can sense it? Is that infant reacting wrong? Is that a wrong reaction? Well, I would say that on a much more simplistic level, that is the way we react. If we instinctively feel that something's not right, we have to go by gut intuition.
What if you're wrong? What if you're wrong?
What is wrong and right? And in our case, we are making up our reality. We decide what's right and wrong. You are letting the Bible or Jesus Christ or whatever God may be
even
decide.
Common sense. I mean, even leaving God out of it to suggest that you can make up your own reality. My goodness, that's what they did in Tiananmen Square. That's what they did in Germany in 1933. I mean,
and that's what they're doing in America.
These are examples of people who created their own reality.
Everyone creates their own reality. The thing is, you speak for a consensus of reality which is acceptable. We speak for one which at this point in history is not acceptable. So it's just a question of who manipulates the media, who has the most money to put their reality forth.
But would you pardon me saying that I find a world in which your ability to conjure your own reality as you perceive it to be a very frightening world for people like me, because you see, I'm guided by some codified rules that tell me what is right and wrong. In your world, I'm not so sure I would feel very safe.
You would see that's your problem. You have
even that, like the evolution of the Christian church is like, what codified rules? What do y'all have? Like, and that's why our world is unsafe. Is really the reality that we live in, and that's what they want for the Black community. So white Christianity, yeah, they may have some rules inside their own, Jewish people, so-called Jewish people, but they put us in a lawless community with a lawless God, a lawless religion, and it's like, I feel unsafe. You're right, because everybody doing whatever the hell they want. You know what I mean? Like, no one is being able to be said that this is right or wrong, and that's what they teach. Like I said, if you know and listen to musicians' interviews, it's like you believe whatever you want to believe. Do you? That's what I think we should all be. Is just do you, and whatever makes you happy. They're teaching it to you, and you wonder why our people are so destroyed.
Right.
You have something up?
A lot.
Okay.
In the satanic world of the future, Christian churches will be allowed to continue because they pose no threat to us. We don't need Christianity. Christianity needs us.
Damn.
Sure.
So we'll let it.
Christianity
Sure,
is built on
Tell that to
fear.
the Jews in the Warsaw Ghetto. Why, we're not going to put you in gas ovens. We're not going to kill you. We just want you to wear an
No,
armband.
no, I'm not
for
saying
now.
that.
I mean,
On
we
the-
just want you.
No, no,
But-
no.
but
I'm not saying
Hitler-
I'm a humanitarian.
Hitler-
Don't try to whitewash
Hitler
me.
created a reality. Was it evil?
Hitler was a masterful black magician. Of course, he created a reality. Was it evil?
He was a masterful black magician. They love Hitler, so it's showing you you're getting close to what they really are on, and it's going to start revealing you who they are against. You see what I'm saying? So once again, like this is going to get deeper and deeper. Real quick. I'm going to keep going for time.
I'm telling you that I don't believe in good and evil, and nor can anyone decide what is good and evil. It's all based on historical and cultural values. In my point of view, the Christian religion is evil, in quotes, because it is negative.
Nicholas, I'm not a Jewish survivor of Buchenwald sitting here with a number tattooed on my arm. If I were, well, frankly, I'd be incensed. I'd be outraged that you
Well, they
suggested.
are incensed and outraged. They're incensed and outraged.
You're not willing to
every
say
day.
Hitler was evil.
Absolutely not, because I'm not
What-
going to
what
bow down to
purpose
your
would
level
that
of good
serve?
and evil. That's so primitive.
Pardon?
I'm telling
What
the human
purpose would
race.
that serve? You want us to give you these lines.
I'm
that have
telling you,
been
you
sent
have to
to
decide
us?
for yourself.
No,
If
no,
you-
no, no. I'm asking. No,
examine
no. I'm
history-
asking for parrots.
You want rules.
No, you do.
You want rules.
No, I'm asking you. I'm asking you just a fundamental question, a social colloquy in regards to how human beings treat one another. and I-
100 years ago, Napoleon was considered the devil incarnate, the most evil person who ever lived. Now he's forgotten. Everything changes with cultural tides. Morals change with the weather.
Well,
You
now-
can't say something is good or evil. You can only look at human behavior from a realistic perspective.
Well,
So
yes,
if you
yes.
really want to look at what is evil, the book that you have sitting right there is probably the prescription for
The
more
Bible?
evil.
The Holy
That's
Bible,
right, has
and if you can
caused
tell me
more
this is untrue,
bloodshed
tell me.
throughout history
Exactly.
in the name of
More people have
Christianity.
died because of the Christian church in the past 2,000 years of its dominance.
with the Spanish Inquisition.
Well,
you think?
hang on. You.
Which is a fact. You see what I'm saying? He's gonna try to tiptoe around that. And you know, young man, Gerardo, the class tonight, we're going in, we're doing an interview of some people on the Church of Satan, and we showing you the things that they teach, how they try to infiltrate mainstream society and get us to believe these things. So when we hear this, we won't be deceived by them. Matter of fact, give me 2 Thessalonians 2:4 as well. And they say, I like how they say primitive. You know, they try to always degrade people that follow the Bible and say that you're being primitive when you have morals or believe something is right or wrong. Like, to be futuristic, to be intelligent, to be better is to think like this. All right? Go ahead when you got it.
2 Thessalonians 3.
2 Thessalonians 2:4.
This is the book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 2, and verse 4.
Mhm.
Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God.
Right. Like, this is the spirit of someone that follows Satan. This is the spirit of your oppressor. This is the spirit of these people on this interview. They exalt themselves to be like God and above God. They decide what's right and what's wrong. They tell you what's good and what's bad, and they say you can do whatever you want. Go ahead.
of God, or that is worship, so that he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God.
Right. Like showing himself that he is God. And that's what they say, man. That's one of the key tenets of Satanism is to say that you are God. You are God. And that's, they say the black woman is God. Egyptology. You understand? Yeah. Right on. And while you in class, just hold your peace. Just say Salaki if you do want to talk, because we got other people in the class. So yeah, no sweat. You good. But if you got a question or comment, just say Salaki. All right. But yeah. What were you saying though, Gerardo?
they would say, for example, like in those times in that story, that old story about Adam and Eve when there was a fruit on that tree, and
Right.
that Satan came along in the form of an animal, which the Bible says it was in the form of a snake.
Right.
And he said, if you eat this apple, you will not die, you won't perish, you will be as God.
Damn right.
Which you will have intelligence.
That's right.
You will have the ability to think for yourself.
Right on. We get that brother in. Right. Go ahead. Matter of fact, pull that. We done with Thessalonians. Go ahead and get that in Genesis. Go ahead.
It's also in the chapter right here.
Okay.
In verse 3.
Go ahead, read.
It says, Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3.
Mhm.
Let no man deceive you by any means.
Right.
For that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition.
Right. What do you want to add on? Break down.
Oh, come on, sir. I mean, it's just letting you know exactly who the deceiver is, who the devil is, and that there's not going to be a falling away from this until it's going to be revealed who he is, which we're in those times right now. Like, we all understand that the white man is the devil. We all understand that Esau is the deceiver. We understand that the spirit of Esau is the same as brother brought out as the beast in the garden.
Right.
So it's just, layer upon layer. It's like, and then right here, they're letting you know as well right here, just like who exactly is this person based off the mark that they believe in. And that's Satanism. That's the Christian church. And it just has a lot of different faces, but it's the spirit behind it is the same.
Damn right. Go ahead, get Genesis, the 3rd chapter, real quick. You got it up, or what you? Okay.
Start at verse 1, sir.
Let's see. What does it say? Go to the part where the brother Paul, where he told her she will be as a god, like Genesis 3:2 or 3 somewhere in there. Let's see. And if you're able to follow along online like you did yesterday, you can go ahead and do that.
Genesis chapter 3.
Yep. And we'll go to, what is it? Verse
5.
Verse 5.
The book of Genesis, chapter 3 and verse 5. For God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as God, knowing good and evil.
So this is the same trick that's been played on us over and over and over again. And that eyes being open is that knowledge. So when he said you will be primitive, oh, you are ignorant, you're dumb. You are what? A sheep for following. That's what they tell us. Oh, they're sheeple. They're ones that are followers. If you follow someone, you listen to a man, you obey a man, what's wrong with you? That's what they're going to come tell you. Oh, you in the UPK, you got another man telling you what to do? How you going to let another man tell you what to do? I could never do that. You know what? That same nigga got a job. That same brother will get pulled over by the police. That same brother will get out of the car, put your hands up, get on your knees, woo woo, put your hands behind your back, do everything another man tells him to do. Go to the jail, strip naked, chow, wake up at 5 a.m, lights out, go to sleep when they tell you to go to sleep.
Right.
Come on, man. But you won't let another man tell you what to do to serve the Lord. Because in your mind, Satan is going to try to make you feel lesser to do what is right and feel empowered to do what is wrong. Eve, you're supposed to obey Adam. Eve, you're supposed to obey the Lord. Nah, you don't have to listen to them. They're lying to you. Do what you want to do. Your eyes are going to be open. You're going to get some knowledge and you will be free. Go ahead. You said I thought you raised your hand. Oh, was it you, brother?
Like I said, what you're bringing out is so heavy just because I was watching a Little Blood interview with Mozzie like a couple of years ago.
Right.
And Mozzie was talking about how he said, my father didn't teach me how to be a follower. But in the same sentence, he didn't say he taught me how to be a leader, right?
Right.
Because he recognizes that he's not the best person to be leading the community.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just like that's something our people are being taught religiously, I would say. It's like, don't be a follower. You know?
Right.
Would you jump off your cliff? Your friends jump off the cliff? Like they take it, they make it a negative thing to be able to follow someone.
Right.
Even if the people they're following are doing something righteous.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, brother Henry. Let me give Matthew chapter 25 and verse 32, and then we're gonna go back to this video a little bit. We're gonna keep going through it. But yeah, it gets deep on here. Right? Like the things that these people be saying, and you start realizing these things that they teach. Like you said, like, oh, you're a follower, then something is wrong with you. And like I said, it's a double-edged sword, because if you follow everyone or anyone, then you are wrong. If you do jump off the bridge because your friends are doing it, you're wrong. But you should follow someone. You can't just throw the whole concept out.
Right.
To follow someone is not wrong. You have to follow the right one.
Right.
You understand? Go ahead.
When it comes to or a belief, I believe that if it's a guidance, it's a good guidance, and opposed to like you said, following these Christian churches that tell us if you don't do this, if you don't, like I was speaking earlier about it, I think we were talking about this yesterday. These churches try to tell us you do not follow these 10 commandments, and if you don't do this, God is not love you. If you don't follow these commandments, you're going to burn, kick, and scream, and bleed, and die. And you know, but he loves you.
Right. So, and if I right.
Opposed to the mark of the beast, it doesn't come and
So, young man, I'm gonna cut you off for time's sake, because we gotta keep going with the class. But I'm gonna have you hold on the comments. If you got a question, go ahead and ask. But we'll bring some more comments maybe towards the end. Baba Gashah. All right. The what? Go ahead with that.
Sir. The book of Matthew, chapter 25 and verse 25, sir?
And 32.
And verse 32.
Mm-hmm.
And before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as the shepherd divided his sheep from the goats.
Right, his sheep from the goats. And we all know the Satanists love the goats. Right. They love that Baphomet. That's the picture of the class tonight. It's got a goat's head. The goats they don't move like sheep in the flock. They're a little bit different. And so it's always been a separation. The goats have the straight hair and the sheep have the woolly hair. You know, it's also symbolic of the difference between the children of Israel and the Edomites, right? And it's another precept that likens the Edomites to a goat as well. If I think I can find that. But keep going to the next verse.
Verse 32. Oh, verse 33, sir. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left.
Genesis. All right. And Genesis also talks about, I believe, he put the goat fur on him to defeat Jacob. But let's keep going. We're going back to this video for time's sake. We got to keep it going. Blah, blah, blah.
And I'm not saying
Hitler here. You sidestepped Hitler.
No, let's talk about Hitler. Whatever you want to talk about.
We'll talk about this in a second.
Let's talk about the Bible. Let's talk about Hitler. Let's talk about everything.
I don't want to misquote you. In fairness to you,
it's interesting. Why do we focus so much on Hitler?
Why are you so fascinated with sex and
I think
Hitler?
This is very
I'm not
interesting.
fascinated with sex.
These are
I'm
the
not
things
fascinated with Hitler. No, I'm not.
Because you keep bringing up
no.
Holocaust and the survival.
I'm sorry, but those types of ad hominem arguments really don't make it in a debate. Okay, I mean that's intellectually dishonest, and you're a brilliant man, and even you know that.
What do you want to get
What
at
I'm
them?
asking
What's the
you,
issue of
well,
it?
the issue is, and I'm wanting to be fair to you. I'm not
Well,
wanting to
I-
put words in your mouth or misquote you. You're saying, are you then saying that what Hitler did to 6 million Jews cannot be morally quantified and called evil? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely not, nor can any act of any human being or animal be judged good or evil. There is
You
no
agree
such
with that,
thing as
Tina?
good or
Yes,
evil.
I agree with that, because if you look at every war, no matter whether it was the Third Reich or whether it was the Spanish Inquisition or any war, any movement has always.
What?
So I got one. Just the conversation of just the moral morality of whether or not the killing of that many people is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like being in the truth, we understand that the things that the Lord has done are always good because it comes from the Most High.
Right.
So, and people will fight, like they'll even, I've seen the Facebook Christian where they say, well, when God did this, was it a good thing? And like, we understand that it was good because like, no matter what happens, like even if we like massacre
Mm-hmm.
complete people that were evil,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to bring more good because of it's stopping the evil that those people are proliferating.
Okay.
But in that sense, like, could we is there any type of way that someone could correlate those two things together, or should we just not even put those two things in the same category?
Okay. Can you clarify your question a little bit more?
Like between killing all the Philistines versus Hitler. Like, should those two things be correlated at all, or should they just never be correlated together?
Okay. Let me take what you're saying. So, like, when Saul was told to destroy all the children of Amalek,
Come.
and that was what the Lord wanted because they were evil people, right?
Come.
What Hitler did to the so-called Jewish people is what the Lord wanted,
Right.
because of who they are as the evil people.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, give me Amos 3:6.
Come.
Yes, I can say that. Which is another thing which shows you the contradiction of the Christian church, which is ironic too. Like I said, there are certain things that the Satanists do say as it gets revealed that are actually true. And the Christian is fighting it because they're living in a lie, and that's where they get their power. So what we're watching is two different branches of Satanists having a conversation. They're both lying, and they're both doing it for different reasons, but they actually, like they said, they need each other. The Christian church needs them, and they need the Christian church to exist to do what they're doing. We'll go ahead and read.
This is the book of Amos, chapter 2, verse
3
and verse 2.
6.
Oh, it's like verse 6.
Good.
Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid?
Right. When people blow the horns in the city, that was an alarm to warn them that some enemy was coming to do that. So it's like, can this happen and people not be scared? La. They should be scared, right? Mm-hmm.
Shall there be evil in a city, and the Lord hath not done it?
And the who?
And the Lord hath not done it.
So you're right. Like anything that happens, the Lord has to okay it to happen.
Right.
There's nothing that's going to happen that is not going to get the path outside of his realm, because then he would not be considered all powerful. You see what I'm saying? Who's doing something on his watch that he ain't certified?
Right.
So, you know what I mean? So even in that, we know there are people in Germany were impersonating the children of Israel, acting like there are people, and then Hitler destroyed them. And he said it himself that they were trying to be like Jews, trying to be like these people, and that's why he didn't want them around his people, because it's like, you are supposed to be white people, you're impersonating these niggas, and we're gonna destroy you for that. So yes, I would, yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, so like I said, thought for the breakdown for that, and that's just it leads into another conversation where I've had with.
And hold on real quick, I'm gonna go back to before I lose my point. If you can remember, also it shows you it still don't mean it's not evil.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It doesn't absolve Hitler from doing it like he's a good guy. He's still a horrible person. He just did this thing that the Lord put a spirit on him to do something evil. It's still evil. So that counters the Satanist argument that it's not evil. See what I'm saying? So he's trying to slide in there and say nothing's wrong. You can do whatever you want. There's no way to morally judge it. Nah, Hitler was an evil person. He was an evil, disgusting human being. You know what I mean? Hold your peace real quick. You have a question? What?
Predicted antichrist along with Napoleon Bonaparte.
So the Bible says that there are many antichrists. That if you go against what Christ taught, you are considered antichrist. That's literally what the word means. It's not a specific person or figure that's going to represent the antichrist. There are antichrists everywhere. If you celebrate Christmas, you are antichrist.
Right.
If you smoke weed, you're antichrist. If you get high on drugs, if you abuse women, you abuse children, if you sell drugs, you are antichrist. You're going against what Christ taught. Right? Well, go ahead with what you got.
So like I said, my question was going to be, where did the Christian church get this idea where anytime anything bad happens, they blame Satan, and they say, "Oh, this isn't what God wants." I've had conversations with people in the world where I've had to damn near look like an evil bastard to them or explain to them. We're just like, no, God allows these things to happen, and it's like it's not Satan doing it. Like it's like it's not Satan that's the one allowing it. Like because I brought out Job, where it's just like the Lord is going to be the one to allow these things to happen,
right?
But Christians, they're the mindset we're just like, nah, it can't be God in any type of way. It's only Satan.
Right.
Where do they get that? Like, where do they back that up for that belief from?
Well, they misinterpret Isaiah in the 14th chapter where it says, "Thou fallen angel, son of the morning." Like they try to make it seem like Satan is doing his own thing outside of God. He's going to war with God, but that misinterpretation, that precept, is where it causes that confusion. That there is a being that is not doing what God wants, that has powers. That's an angel. Go ahead up.
I was just going to ask for the breakdown on that as well.
On which one?
Same thing, fallen angel, and why that's interpreted as Lucifer being against God.
Right. You want to pull it? Go to Isaiah 14. That's a good question. And that's also the key to this as well. When we teach that Satan, and I know young man, I don't know if I said it to you before, a lot of times that's something that you might have never heard. And like I said, don't believe us just because we're saying it, but the things that we teach are in the Bible. And once you understand it, it makes sense. That they try to teach that Satan is some angel that's doing what he wants against God, when Satan is just an angel that follows God and does what he says. So this thing that they're teaching about in the church of Satan is not really about the Satan of the Bible. It's something that the white man has created to go against the truth. But this verse right here is Isaiah, was it 14, 16, somewhere there? Verse 12. So start at verse 4 real quick. We're going to read verse 4 and then come down.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 4. That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon.
Of who?
Of Babylon.
Wait. Well, against who? The what?
The king of Babylon.
Right. So this is a prophecy against the king of Babylon, talking about a man. When you take this verse out of context, it becomes some spiritual other thing, and they don't realize that this was a title for the king of Babylon. So go down to verse 12.
How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, the son of morning?
Right.
The morning.
Right. So they're saying, for one, heaven is a condition on earth. It's not talking about the heavens where the Most High lives. Lucifer was in heaven on earth. This king of Babylon was ruling and in charge of all these nations. he is going to fall from his position of leadership and lose his power. Go ahead.
How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nation?
Right. And then you can go through, but for time's sake, let's see verse 16. Yep, that's it right there. Mm-hmm.
They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man?
Is this what?
Is this the man?
Is this the angel?
Is this the man?
Is this some dark force?
Is this the man?
Right.
That made the earth to tremble? That did shake kingdoms?
Right. So they're just saying, like, when this king of Babylon falls down, people are gonna be like, damn, is that Donald Trump? Who had the nuclear weapons and had the Black Hawks and had all these different guns and drones? How are you at the bottom? How are you falling? That's all this precept is talking about. But they use this to say that Satan is gone against the Lord when it's really just a precept about a man being in charge. So we drop that. Let's go to Job chapter 1, and then we'll continue with the video.
Sorry, sir.
Go ahead.
After Isaiah 14 as well, could you use Revelation 17, the New Testament as a precept?
Go ahead, read it.
Or verse 5 of 17, verse 5, it says, and upon her forehead was the name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth.
Okay, and you're saying you
I was saying, can you use that to show that it's still prophecy for what America is going to become, and it's calling prophetically Babylon.
So we're saying how thou have fallen, the king of Babylon. You're saying is that the same? You can use that for yes. Cool. Anything with Babylon. That's why all these prophecies that you hear about Babylon in the Old Testament can be applied to America, because America is the new Babylon, the daughter of Babylon. So the same way they looked at that king, Lucifer, in this time, fallen, is the same way they're going to look at America, because it says you set yourself on high. You thought that you would never be a widow or cry for loss of children. That's how America is going to feel and be when it is destroyed. Go ahead.
So another one, if I may, what's the breakdown between Lucifer being the Babylonians, which are a Hamitic tribe, compared to them now being Esau?
So, like I said, it's the daughter of Babylon. Right? This is a culture that is also like Egypt and Sodom and Gomorrah. So give me that precept. Is that Revelations 18, which is Sodom, which is Gomorrah. That might be that. It might be somewhere else. Let me go here and look and see if I can find it real quick. Because it's talking about the spirit of these people, that they have the spirit and the culture of these ancient places. Maybe, is it 12? Let me see. I'll put which is Sodom.
11 and 8 is a lot of it.
You see?
Look at Revelation chapter 11, verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which is spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
Right. You read it on the mic so they can hear you. Knows what?
Revelation chapter 11, verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city.
Right.
Which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
Right. So America has the spirit of Sodom and Gomorrah, the spirit of ancient Egypt, the spirit of ancient Babylon. And you see it throughout the culture, the spirit of ancient Greece, the spirit of ancient Rome. They follow those things that they did back then and keep that spirit alive. And all of those things have in common is they enslaved the children of Israel.
Right.
So they know in order to have your nation be powerful, you need to have these people as your slaves.
Right.
That's why they went and seeked us out. If you think about it, they went and found us in Africa, and they were seeking Christopher Columbus, looking for the children of Israel. That's why we say this is the secret that the Illuminati have. This is the secret that these Masons have is they're looking for the children of Israel, because in you all nations shall be blessed. If you want to create a great nation, the first step is getting Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans enslaved in your nation. You're not going to be able to do it with Africans. You're not going to be able to do it with Chinese people. You're not going to be able to do it with Arabs. They not only don't have the greatness that we have, they also don't have the slave mentality. Like, you're not going to get some Chinese people to be slaves like that. They're going to figure a way to get out of it because they have a pride in themselves, because they have their own culture. They have their own identity. The Lord had to put it in our culture, in our laws, to not be like other nations, because we're the only nation that's always going to try to be like them.
Right.
To that extent, to our own destruction. Like Chinese kid, oh, you can try to be kind of like a nigga in high school, but when you get done with that playing around phase, you're gonna have to go and start this business and come back to your culture.
Right.
You can be a white kid and go through a phase and listen to hip hop, but you're gonna cut your hair, you're gonna cut your beard, you're gonna go get a job, and you're gonna go on to college and do what you need to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You cannot exist in this phase of trying to be like a nigga. We're gonna exist in a perpetual state of whatever nation we try to join ourselves to. We're going to keep celebrating Christmas for our entire life. We're going to keep doing Thanksgiving. We're going to keep getting high. We're going to do the things that these other nations do, and we're not going to be successful in copying them. All right, is that it? All right, Most High Christ. Was there a precept that I was going to?
Job, sir?
Yeah, Job 1. Yep. Let's get it. We got 8:45. Joe, this precept I'm showing is just to show that Satan doesn't have any power outside of the Most High God.
Right.
And he is in obedience to the Lord. His job, the real Satan, not the Satan that they're talking about on this episode, is someone that is an angel that's used to test you to see what you're made of. Are you really who you say you are? You can say that you will protect your family, but you can't prove that you will really do it until someone tries to harm your family. You can't prove that you care about this person or that person until it's tested. And so Satan says, if you say you love God, you're going to have to be proved.
Right.
You're going to have to be tested. You understand? All right, let's go. Let's go to Job chapter 2 and verse 1.
God. This book of Job, chapter 2 and verse 1. Again, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord.
Right. The sons of God are the angels. Go ahead.
Come. And Satan came also among them to present himself before the Lord.
So how is Satan against God, but then he goes and is amongst God? Right? Keep going.
Come, verse 2. And the Lord said unto Satan, from whence comest thou? And Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it.
So he's giving his report. They having a council. It's like we have a major council. Satan coming in saying, I've been doing my job. I've been going to and fro. I'm working. I'm grinding. What you been doing? We've been having camp. We had this many camps. We've been to this many food programs. We did this and we did that. Satan is busy. I'm going to and fro. I'm on my job. I'm out here putting in work. Go ahead.
Verse 3. And the Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job?
Right.
That there is none like him in the earth,
Mm-hmm.
a perfect and an upright man.
So there's another thing when they say you can't be perfect. Job was a perfect man. He was upright. He obeyed the law, statutes, and the commandments of God. Keep going.
One that feareth God
Mm-hmm.
and escheweth evil.
Right.
And still he holdeth fast his integrity. Although thou movest against him to destroy him without cause.
Mm-hmm. Keep going.
Verse 4. And Satan answered the Lord and said, skin for skin, yea, all that a man hath will he give for his life.
Right. So it's like, if we take these things that you blessed Job with, he is going to turn on the Lord for that. Like, you know what this reminds me of? When you watch them movies, especially them older, 2000 movies, they always have it. They got, oh, we got to lose our virginity before the prom. Or I'm going to start dating so-and-so. And if I change my hair and I start dressing like this, I'm going to end up sleeping with her by the end of the movie. No, you ain't going to do that. Bet. What do you want to put on it? Oh, I bet this shoes. I bet this shirt. I bet my car. You ain't going to be able to sleep. Like, then at the end of the movie or halfway through it, the girl find out. She'd be like, dang, I thought you really loved me. They run off or whatever. They hear, they hear the conversation on the low. Like, oh, I thought he really bought flowers for me and da-da-da. I was part of a bet. Y'all bet on me? How does she feel when that happens?
Right, sir. She feels betrayed.
Right. What else?
Not worth anything, sir.
Right. Okay. Sis?
She feels stupid.
I like that. Get a sister in. That's yeah, right? She feels like tricked, deceived, like a fool, like no value, you know what I'm saying? Like disrespected. You know what I'm saying? Read that verse again. Mm-hmm.
And 6 again, verse 4. And Satan answered the Lord and said, skin for skin.
Bet. Dollar for dollar. 100 fade. He put a fade on you. Like, oh, okay. How much you say? 6, I ain't gonna hit 6. Nigga, I'm about to hit 6. Like, we just dice gambling, roll the dice. Say like Job is solid. He perfect. He ain't gonna do nothing. Say like bet, nigga, skin for skin. On my mama. He gonna break. He gonna fold. You know what I'm saying? Bet that up. Keep going.
Come. Yea, all that a man has will he give for his life.
Right.
Verse 5. But put forth thine hand down and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse thee to thy face.
Right. Keep going.
Verse 6. And the Lord said unto Satan, behold, he is in thine hand, but save his life.
So for one, Satan followed the order. He said, you can do whatever you want, but don't kill him. But everything else you can do. And I believe he is going to still be faithful to me. And you believe he's not. That's our bet. Shake, do that. Now, the reason why I brought up the girl in the movie that feels dumb, that feels stupid, that feels abused, that feels worthless because of them making that bet about their life is how you should feel when you disobey God.
Right.
When you do a sin, you got to realize Satan is treating you like a bitch, Salakia. He's treating you like that woman in that thing, like, oh, I told you I could, on me, bet, skin for skin, 100 for 100, dollar for dollar. This nigga about to do it. He about to smoke. She about to cheat on her husband. He about to steal that. He about to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, bet it up, fade it up, Lord. He out here winning on niggas. That's what I'm saying. Satan getting rank raises off of you. Don't let that happen. Don't be her. Don't be that girl in the movie. Like, nah, I know what's going on. I'm not even gonna fall for this. This is how y'all betting on me? Bet on me. He's not going. Like, if she see that, what happens when she finds out about it? He ain't never hitting. You know what I'm saying? She's not gonna have sex with him. She was about to give it up. Then she found out it was a bet on her. She's like, no, I ain't doing that. You seeing it right here. Whatever you are fighting, keep fighting. Don't let Satan win this bet on you. He's betting against you. The Lord is trying to, especially if you come into the truth, he's putting his bet on you. Don't let him down. Don't let the school down. You understand? Don't let the brothers down. Like, fight, battle, know it. And once you do that and use the help of the brothers, because they're not playing fair when it comes against you. Our biggest weapon to fight Satan is brotherhood. So as long as we keep the brotherhood tight and lean on each other and go to war with each other, and whatever that we're dealing with, then we will be better. But Satan's going to try to keep you just by yourself. All right, but Salaki. So that's that. Let's go ahead. We're gonna go back to here. Yeah, I'll be damned if I'm the broad in the movie. You got me effed up. Bring it on. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. You feel me? He didn't trick you into doing. You feel guilty, depressed, sad. You know what I'm saying? Just don't do it. You don't gotta do it. You can be stronger than that.
Right.
You can survive through anything. You understand? Other brothers have done it. That's what we hear. It's like, I'm just like you, brothers. You know, it's like the flip too. That's how Satan. Damn, this brother telling you what to do. Damn, this brother checking you. This brother over you. You a man. Ain't no man able to tell you what to do. You can do what you want to do. Women the same way. You don't gotta listen to your husband. He's over you. You stupid for doing that. Satan gonna try to trick you and do all of that. He gonna try to come in and try to separate and divide that. But it's like, okay, I shouldn't listen to this person over me. It's making me lesser to do it. But at the same time, when I do what I want to do, I'm really putting Satan over me. I don't know how to, like, you are now giving him the up over you. So you don't obey him. You obeying yourself, but you can't even control yourself. You know what I'm saying? So why not follow and obey the ones that are trying to help you? You see what I'm saying? Well, go ahead. If that makes sense.
Like, it's self-discipline.
Right.
Like, that's just what it boils down to. It's just like, if you don't have self-discipline, you fall to your, like, I just read what you sent me before. It's like you just go into your base indulgence. Like, you don't abstain from anything.
Right.
And
Okay.
that's literally what it means to be in the truth. We abstain ourselves from certain things.
Right.
And it's not grievous. It's not a hard thing to do. But
Right.
it's what's necessary to actually be able to show that you're following the Most High.
Right. And so all those rules, all that abstaining, matter of fact, pull that up from what the Church of Satan says. Right. And that's the first, I think, is that the first rule they tell you? And then, young man, if you can't Google the word indulge, you understand? But, I got two young men, so like it, Gerardo, I'm talking about the young man in the room. Young man, hey, yeah. But I appreciate it. And we almost done. We're gonna have to make a part 2 of this one for sure. You got it?
Okay. The nine satanic statements. Number 1, Satan represents indulgence instead of abstinence.
Damn. That's Satan. You know what I mean? So what's the definition of indulgence?
To indulge means to allow oneself or another to have or do something enjoyable, especially something that might be considered bad for you, or to be lenient or permissive with someone's desires or whims.
Damn. You see what I'm saying? So they have advertisements that tell you to indulge, just do it. All these things are predicated on you not having any discipline, not having any control, because that enriches Satan. Like, just think about it like that. That's why they love to sell things to women, because women will be programmed to just indulge and not abstain. That's why they say Satan went to the woman first. It's like a lot of times the argument is when they get a credit card in the household. It's like, damn, you done bought this, you done bought that, you done bought that. Because Satan knows women are more emotional than men. So a lot of times, if they want something, they want to get it right then and there. It's like hard for them to say no. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when you go out and like someone's trying to sell something, you know, in our slavery, like our job is to like convince people to make a decision, an impulse decision right then and there. A lot of times women, it's hard for them to say no, because a part of their natural spirit is to follow, but they're misusing that spirit against the woman and turning, as opposed to following God, following your husband, use that spirit to follow McDonald's, follow Nike or Louis Vuitton or this purse or the Birkin. It's like, oh, well, damn, everybody has one. I should get one. I need it. and they just go with it. You see what I'm saying? So it's like that indulgence is not abstaining, not saying no. And that always leads to negativity. So in order to build your strength up, you come into the truth, you're going to hear nothing but no's. That's the trial by fire. So give me that one, baptized by fire. That's Matthew, baptized. We got also in, I think, Corinthians is by fire. KJV. Let's go to Matthew 3:11. Like, come into the truth. The baptism that's going to cleanse you is the fire and the checkings and the correction and the things of teaching you to abstain. Finding the things that you should not do is hard to do, but it's glorious once you're able to do those things, because you're getting the skills to fight your flesh and learn discipline. Go ahead and read it.
Book of Matthew chapter 3 verse 11. I indeed baptize you with water,
right,
unto repentance. But he that cometh after me is mightier than I,
right,
whose shoes I am not worthy to bear.
Right.
He shall baptize you with the Holy Spirit,
right,
and with fire.
Right. So Christ is going to baptize you with the Holy Spirit. That's what's going to cleanse you. And through the fire, come into the truth. It's not an easy thing. They're going to say, hey, you need to be in all black. What's that little spot on your shirt? That's a little bit of white. That's not white. It needs to be all black. You understand? You're doing this. You need to stop doing that. You saying that? No, we don't say bring it out. We say that's right. Oh, we don't say all praises to the Most High. We say Most High in Christ. We don't say deacon or bishop. We say this. We don't do that. We do this. We do this. We don't do that. Like, it's going to be a whole lot of rules, because it's not about indulgence. It's not about doing what you want to do. That is the spirit of Satan. That is how America teaches you life should be. They teach you equality in doing what you want, individualism, and that's where they gain their most power. When you are able to boil things down and move as one body, that is evil to Satanists. All right. All right, let's go back to these things right here, man. I'm gonna skip ahead for some of these things these people say on here. Where am I? Did I miss my thing? Damn, what happened to this? I'm putting up the wrong thing. I changed it. So lock here, y'all. Let's see if it goes back. Okay, here we are.
Hello, I'm Bob. In 1930.
Caused Hitler is evil. You sit there calmly. You want us.
What do you want? What's the right thing to do from the Christian point of view? Should I moan and whine about it?
Isn't this what you expect
We're
of
looking at
us?
human nature. If
His moral place in history. I don't have any
Now,
problem.
we're
who
in the same
determines the moral
position.
place? Who determines it? Who has the right to determine what is good and evil?
Well, of course, I would respond from the standpoint of the Christian ethic, but even a humanist sitting in this chair.
I don't like humanists any more than Christians.
You don't
because
like humanists either?
Humanists, you have to understand this once and for all. Christians must know Satanism is not humanism. Humanism is based on Christian ethics and ideas. It just doesn't have Christ, but it has the same appalling ideas about equality, love for everybody, indiscriminate love for all living things, and we oppose those ideas.
Altruism, humanitarianism, all that
Humanism
type
and
of stuff.
Christianity are in bed together. They're the same thing. There's
Well,
no
the
difference.
humanists might not appreciate that, but I
Of
hear
course
where
they
you're coming
wouldn't.
from.
Of course
Neither
they
would a
wouldn't.
white witch or
And
a
as far
neo-pagan
as I'm concerned, there's Satanism, and then there's other people.
Yeah, your father, in the satanic rituals, really puts out some zingers at the witches who want to be white witches. He says there really is no such thing. A witch is a witch is a witch.
That's right. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree. Now there's where I do agree with your father. Yes.
I mean,
I think
throughout
you would
history-
find that you do agree on a lot of principles with the satanic philosophy. If you clearly understood and looked at it, we are saying that the act
Well, I
of
don't know if I'd carry that
in
far.
the sense that the act of manipulating and using the will and using ritual to create change is by any definition satanic. And anyone who does that is at least an ipso facto. What do you want me to do? Cry? What do you want me to do? Have remorse and break down in
And this
tears?
is what I find interesting.
What
You
is the
said
proper reaction
You won't
from a
say that
Christian?
Hitler is evil. You sit there calmly. You want us.
What do you want? What's
You're-
the right thing to do from the Christian point of view? Should I moan and whine about it?
Isn't this what you
We're
expect of
looking at
us?
human nature. If you can't accept it, that's your problem. I can.
Murder is always part of human nature.
I
Is it
don't.
wrong? Is it
Always
wrong?
has.
Is it wrong to
What is
murder?
wrong?
Are you going to change it?
Is it wrong to murder?
Is it
Zena,
wrong?
is it
to-
wrong to murder?
As it says in the Satanic Bible, can you love the blood-splashed jaws that rend you limb from limb? Is that wrong? Can you love and feel?
You haven't answered me.
I
Is it
am
wrong?
answering you.
Is it wrong to murder?
Depends
Will
on the
you answer me
circumstances.
and
No, you answer the question. Is it wrong to murder?
what is wrong?
We're tell-
Murder is part of life.
We're telling you, we don't believe
I
in
mean,
good, evil, right, wrong dichotomy. If I come at you and you kill me in self-defense, is it wrong? Should you sacrifice
What is
yourself?
murder?
Oh, wait, no, wait a minute.
Murder
is-
can't
That's
be
not
any,
murder.
Murder is no more wrong. Well, there, you're deciding.
Murder
what
is no
murder
more
is.
wrong
okay,
than
then you're
what?
deciding,
You're
what
deciding what
murder
it is.
is.
What is it then? Define everything if you
All
want
I'm
to
saying
debate
is
it
there
clearly.
always has
Zena, we
been
got
murder.
6,000 years of human history to define what murder is.
That's right. So how are we going to
Killing
define
is a
it
part of
here?
animal behavior. Humans do it
Well, now,
more
you
than
see,
others.
I don't really believe that I would need to worry about walking down a dark alley and being followed by either of you
Absolutely
with a
right.
gun in your pocket. But what you have just said,
Here's
let me finish. What
scenario
you have
to you.
just said, articulated to the masses, particularly in a dysfunctional society where people are filled with all types of anger and rage because of past abuses. What you're really doing, I think, is potentially lighting a fuse. I'm not worried that you're going to pull a gun out of your pocket and shoot me in front of these cameras,
what you're
but
saying
I
is
don't.
to
But
explain
I don't know
why
that somebody else
society
might
is the
not
way
do
it
that
is in the
because of
first
what you
place.
said. You're
Okay,
not
let me-
willing to condemn murder.
Let me answer your questions in 3 points. The masses. We have no regard for the masses. Satanism is a religion for the elite. It is a religion for leaders. It's a religion for competent people. It's not a religion for anyone who wants to be a Satanist. We don't say welcome
The
to the
homeless,
club.
the handicapped, those
I
with
don't
multiple
care.
sclerosis
I
need
don't
not
want the
apply.
homeless, the handicapped.
The
That's
people
your
in Mother
job.
Teresa's home
You've
for the dying and the
you've take-
destitute, they need not apply.
I don't want
Why
them. You've
should they
taken that on your shoulders. That's your job. You're doing a great job with the homeless. You help everyone. We're helping those who help themselves, as it says in your Bible. And you can take the weak.
No, it doesn't say that in the Bible.
You can take the decrepit. You can take people who can't help themselves. We don't want them. It's simple.
This is where it gets really good. It starts revealing another level. He says Satanism is for the elite. It's for the rich. It's for the wealthy people on earth to worship Satan. The weak, the homeless, the poor, the destitute, not for you. What does that say about Satanism? If they don't care about the homeless, who's gonna get it? As the young man, we make it real quick, young man Gerardo, if you're still with us.
Sorry?
Yeah, I don't know. Did you hear the last question or live?
What was that? Can you repeat that?
They said Satanism is for the elite. They don't care about the homeless. And I'll just make it real quick, like for time's sake, because we are going a little over time. But if you can make it in one quick sentence, matter of fact, I'm gonna ask the brother in class right here. He raised his hand. Hold on. Good.
So like I started saying that Satanism is for white people.
Right? You diving into it because who are the elite and who's the wealthy on earth?
That's Esau.
Right, white people. Who are the most homeless?
Blacks, Latinos, and natives.
Exactly. Who do we see in the tenderloins? Who do we see struggling across the world? Is the children of Israel. So the Satanists, they love Hitler. Hitler hated the Jews. He's giving you some hints. They love the elite and the rich and the wealthy. They hate the poor. The poor are niggas and spicks and savages. So it's going to start to reveal. This is the good part right here where it gets better and better. More and more, he started realizing that they're talking about niggas this entire time. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
very simple.
The homeless, you don't want to shelter?
No, I don't want to shelter people who can't take care of themselves. Why
You
can't
shelter
they?
the
hungry, the
homeless and
starving,
you
you don't
have
want to
more.
feed. Dina, go ahead, Tina. What were you saying?
That produces more of the same. There has to be some change. If you look at the animal kingdom, how is the animal kingdom able to survive? There is no such thing as homeless.
Back to social Darwinism again. In the animal kingdom, you preserve what is strong.
Hang on.
You give more food to the stronger animal.
Until humans
You don't
intervene
feed the
and start
weaker
killing
one.
the
I'm
animals.
trying to,
There's no welfare in
Nicholas,
the
I'm
animal
trying
world.
to remain as academically
There's another
detached as
one
I-
right there. So, like I said, we might just wrap it up. But he said there's no social Darwinism in the animal kingdom. Y'all know what Darwinism, what they saying? Evolution comes, the strong survive and the weak die off. How do you survival of the fittest? So they're saying there's no welfare in the wild You don't care for someone that's poor. You gotta let them die off. She said you create more weak. If you give black people welfare, they're gonna repopulate, and there's gonna be more niggas on welfare. We should let them starve off and die off because the strong on earth are the rich, intelligent, elite white people, the ones that follow Hitler and the Aryans and all of that. They're white supremacists. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna play a little bit more. Go ahead.
Sometimes it may not be like the intelligence, and not just because, you know, also because it's also like what adds on to that because they have money.
Right.
You know, they have money to buy food, they have money to have somewhere to sleep, and money is a big factor also.
Right.
They're white too, because they're white too, because they have more privilege
Right.
than we do.
Right. And if I may, well, get that brother a hand. When where do they get the money from? You see what I'm saying? Then when you start tying it in together, you'll see that the reason why white people have more money is because they use white supremacy to move as a unit to oppress the other nations. So they work together and give each other these jobs. Like General Muhammad made a heavy point. They're mad at LeBron James for hiring his son, getting him a job, even though he doesn't have the skills to do it. But at the same time, the person that runs the Lakers, their owner got the job at 19 years old. It was the owner's daughter, but no one said anything about it. She didn't know what she was doing, and she didn't have the skills to run the Laker organization, but he put his daughter in charge because that was his family and because he wanted her to be rich and powerful. Right. So you're going to learn on the job, and we're going to make you be able to do this job. They always help their family and pass the things down to their family, which is why they have all these riches and wealth, because they keep helping their family first. That's racism and white supremacy. But it also is just helping your family out, which is what we're supposed to do. It's not wrong. We just are not doing it too. They make us feel wrong for trying to help each other first, which is the lie and the trick. You know what I'm saying? Chinese people help Chinese people. It helps them become better. But we're taught we're not to see each other as a group and help each other. Go ahead, up.
Sorry, sir. I was just gonna say it's like the crazy psyop that Black Latinos have, where it's if you come from a well-off family, like you have two parents in your home, you went to a good school, the majority of Black people will look at that as a negative.
Damn.
They'll judge you for that.
Right.
Whereas it's just like that's not a negative thing in any other culture. You go to the Chinese, you go to the white people, you go to the Arabs. That's what's expected.
Right.
But when it happens in our community, it's number first, it's not expected, and then two, you're degraded because of that.
Right.
Which is crazy.
Right. Well, sign Christ. Right. All right. So that's that. We at 9:12. Go ahead and end. There's some more in here, but we can just revisit it next week. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna go ahead and close out the class. If you can go ahead and do the announcements, Baba Gashah. We'll go ahead and close. Let's see.
This is the ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK under commanding General Yohana. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. These are the rules for a new brother or sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is the commandment found in Numbers 18 and 21 and Malachi 3, verse 8 through 10. It means ma'asharah. It means 10th in Hebrew. 10% of any increase the Lord gives you goes to the Treasury Department or Priest Fund. You can go to ISPPK.com and go to the Donate tab to pay your tithe. Priest Fund. This is the free will offering for the priest. It is not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give, you can give. The upcoming Holy Convocation is going to be the Passover held in Atlanta, Atlanta, Georgia, on, I believe, the 8th,
April 12th.
April 12th. I was like April 12th. And the whole thing's gonna be starting from April 8th and to April 12th. So be sure to get there early.
Mm-hmm.
If you check the bulletin board. If any brother wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black. That's boots, shirts, pants, headband, or scarf. That's the ISPPK security announcements. Men, Hamadra. Men of Israel, we're going to give a courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Hamadra Shabbat. Hamadra. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai Barakatah.
Yahweh Hashem Yahushai Barakatah.
Hamadra Matah, Yada Matah. Sar, which means to turn. We're going to face the sisters. Men of Israel, we're going to give a courtesy salute to the sisters in the school and those online. Men of Israel, Hamadra Shabbat. Hamadra Barak.
Yahweh Shema Hashem Yahushai.
Yada Matah. Dismissed.
All right. Yeah.